Hey folks, welcome back to another episode of Straight Talk Whiskey. I'm Nick, here with episode number 20. Today, as you can see, I'm going to be reviewing Bulleit Rye whiskey. Decided not to start with the standard Bulleit because, I don't know, the rye is just more interesting to me. It's emerging in the American market and around the world as well. And this is actually a true, it's not straight rye, but well, it's a straight rye whiskey in the sense that it's aged for a minimum of 2 years, but 95% rye, 5% malted barley, so that's what we have in here. There's been controversy over the past few years as to where exactly it's produced, so it's not actually distilled at a Bulleit Distillery, but it supposedly comes from the Four Roses Distillery, and then it's aged at Stitzel-Weller. But you see that a lot, and most people take it for granted. But you know, all these different brands and companies don't have their own distillery. Bulleit's owned by Diageo, you know the largest drink producer in the world, and they're a non-distillery producer, which basically means that they're not distilling their own. They're getting it from other distilleries around, and I'm not sure. They said they were building or planned to build an actual Bulleit distillery, but it's still kind of up in the air whether that's going to happen or not. Probably 2017 we're looking at. But so as you can see, we're not in the traditional place. We're in upstate New York. Beautiful day out, sunny, slightly overcast. Not that anybody really cares about what the weather is, just so long as we got a good glass of whiskey in our hands. So as you can see, there's sort of a copper, sort of taking on the rust color to this. Let's go in for the nose. So the first thing that you can taste is definitely heavily toasted oak barrels. And definitely what I get is that rye content, like we said in previous episodes. It's more about the kind of fruitier notes that you get, instead of the spicier notes that you might think you'd get from a rye whiskey. But once rye becomes the predominant grain in the recipe, the mash bill as we call it, you get something more fruitier, creamier, that sort of thing. So let's go in for a taste. Yeah, so what I'm getting first is a toasted almond, wood smoke, definitely char, cinnamon, a little bit of nutmeg in there, and definitely some spices there from the rye. It's definitely, you can definitely tell it's there. So that's interesting. The malted barley definitely adds sort of a kick and creaminess to the palate on the end. And let's go in for one more. Slight taste of honey, maybe some roasted almonds in there. Little lemony quality on the tip of the tongue and the finish. But the finish is nice, it's crisp, clean, and I think that's largely what that rye grain gives us. I think it's nice to have 95% rye in there rather than, if they put at least 51% rye and it can be called a rye whiskey. But this is, as we see on the bottle, small batch. They do make these in small batches. It's bottled at 45% ABV, so 90 proof. It's a little bit higher than normal. We appreciate that. So yeah, there you have it. That's it for episode number 20. Next week, I believe, will be the last one here in the States, and then we'll be headed to Ireland, and so we'll hopefully have one on location from there. Like I said last week, it'd be nice to get one in the landscape of the country, but if you tried doing that here, if you even thought about it, you'd probably be arrested. So, comfort in, of your own home, it's fine to do in your backyard, but I want to go traipsing about the countryside, doing whiskey reviews without having, the proper permits or whatever that takes. So, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Hope you have a great rest of the weekend. It's a nice warm one here. It's great to see. Kind of skipped spring, but you know, we can deal with that. So we'll see you next week. State Talk Whiskey. I'm Nick. Have a good one.